Welcome to UPSC CSE. Today we are going to discuss the most expected topic for the mains 2026 in environment, that is nature based solution. What are nature based solution? Discuss their significance in addressing climate change, biodiversity, disaster resilience. So first part of the question asks what is nature based solution? Nature based solution. And second part of the question asks how with the help of this nature based solution, how we can address the climate change, biodiversity loss, and disaster resilience, and examine the challenges in scaling up of nature based solution in India. So challenges, so the three parts and inside the three subparts. So first, nature based solution na enna அப்படிங்கறத நம்ம பார்க்கணும். பேர்லயே இருக்கு, nature based solution are actions to address societal challenges through the protection, sustainable management, and restoration of ecosystem, benefiting both biodiversity and human well-being. அதாவது சொசைட்டல் சேலஞ்சஸை ப்ரொடெக்ஷன், சஸ்டைனபிள் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் அண்ட் ரீஸ்டோரேஷன் ஆஃப் எக்கோசிஸ்டம் மூலயமா அட்ரஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு பேர் தான் நேச்சர் பேஸ்டு சொல்யூஷன். ஸோ இந்த இந்த நேச்சர் பேஸ்டு சொல்யூஷன் அப்படிங்கிறது பெனிஃபிட்ஸ் போத் பயோடைவர்சிட்டி அண்ட் ஹியூமன் வெல்பீயிங். Important data on climate change and nation-based solution. So what is the data? NBS can provide 30% of mitigation needed by 2030 to limit warming up to 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius. This report was given by IUCN. IUCN says if you use NBS system, nature-based solution system, it provides 30% mitigation for 30 cross 30 goal for 2030 to reduce the global warming by limit the global warming by 1.5 degree to 2 degree below 2 degrees Celsius. This report was given by IUC. Using NBS can reduce intensity of climate hazards, floods, heat waves by 26%. It is given by Worldwide Fund. Every $1 invested in restoring the degradation land yield up to $4 in economic return. That means if you use nature-based solution system, if you invest on nature-based solution system to restore the degraded land, it will give in return $4. So this report was given by UNEP. Nature-based solution could deliver emission removal at least 5 gigaton of CO2 annually by 2030. That means 5 gigaton of CO2 can be removed from the environment by 2030 with the help of nature-based solution. $393 billion can be saved. Estimated cost saving by 2050 from using NBS instead of traditional gray infrastructure. If you use NBS, the $393 billion it will be saved. 24% of energy saving. Buildings using green facades, NBS achieved significant energy efficiency compared to traditional structures. See, these are all important data for you. If you use NBS, அதனால நமக்கு என்ன பலன் கிடைக்கும் அப்படிங்கிறத பற்றி இந்த 6 பாயிண்ட். What is the core principle of NBS? It is given by IUCN, global standards. See, it's very easy. Nature conservation, integration, site-specific context, social equity, diversity maintenance, landscape scale, address the trade-off, policy integration. Okay, so what is nature conservation? NBS must embrace and supplement the established nature conservation norms and principles. See, this is how the nature-based conservation can be used. It can conserve the norms and principles. Integration. NBS can implemented alone or alongside of other technological engineering solution to societal challenges. It's very easy. You can integrate NBS can be integrated with some other technologies, so it will be more effective. Site specific context determined by local nature and cultural context, including traditional and scientific knowledge. So it is this NBS is determined by local, natural, and cultural context, including traditional and scientific knowledge. Social equity. NBS must produce societal benefits in a fair, transparent, and equitable manner. Diversity maintenance. Maintaining biological and cultural diversity and ecosystem ability to evolve. Landscape scale. Apply NBS at broad landscape scale rather than in an isolated patches. Address the trade-off, recognize and manage the trade-offs between immediate economic gains and long-term ecosystem services. Policy integration, NBS should be integrated as a part of policy and program design. See, these are all core principles of the NBS. Now coming to the demand of the question, significance of using NBS: disaster risk reduction, urban heat mitigation, groundwater recharge, agriculture resilient, economic return, carbon sequestration, biodiversity protection, food and water security, sustainable urban drainage. See, in disaster risk reduction, example MISHTI scheme protects the coast from cyclone storms, surges, and erosions through mangrove forest. So you know that MISHTI scheme is increasing the mangrove cover inside the coastal areas. So this disaster risk reduction, we can use MISHTI scheme to reduce the disaster in the coastal areas during the cyclone storms. Urban heat mitigation, green roofing and vertical gardening reduces the urban heat island effect. Yes, if you use green roofing and vertical gardening, you can reduce the urban heat. Groundwater recharge, restoring wetland and permeable pavement help in combating water depletion. Agriculture resilient, agroforestry improves the soil health and provides additional income. Economic return, every $1 invested in the restoring degradation, yes, we already saw that it will give you yield of $4. For example, ecotourism and sustainable forestry. Carbon sequestration, afforestation under Green India Mission. See, afforestation under Green India Mission supports Indian carbon sink target to supports the Indian carbon sink target of 2.5 to 3 billion tons. So biodiversity protection, conservation of native species prevents collapse of pollination system. Food and water security, healthy soil and stable water cycle strengthen the India's agrarian economy. Sustainable urban drainage system, bioswales and rain garden helps in preventing urban flooding. So these are all the significance. What are all the challenges in scaling the nature-based solution? Financial imbalance, limited private sector involvement, limited space, socio-economic constraint, institutional silos, false solution, policy issues, capacity constraint. See, financial imbalance. Nature negative subsidies like fossil fuel are 30 times higher than the nature positive investment. The subsidy given to fuels are more, that is 30 times higher than the nature positive investments. So, if you subsidized products are mostly used, so it creates pollution. Then, limited private sector involvement. Private finance contributes only 11 percentage due to the uncertainty return, that is US dollar 23.4 billion. Weak markets and credible issues. See, these nature-based solutions, private companies is not focusing because the returns are uncertain and weak market. So it is less private, limited private involvement. Limited space. Rapid urbanization reduces blue-green space needed for NBS. So generally, rapid urbanization is also one of the reason for the pollution. So it is reduces the blue-green space. So blue green space needed for NBS. Socio-economic constraint. Difficulty in valuing the ecosystem service makes grey infrastructure more attractive. Yes, the value, you can't value the ecosystem services. Still it is a biggest issue. So you should mechanize or else formulate something to some mechanism to calculate the ecosystem services. Institutional silos, poor coordination among the planning, water, environment departments, false solution concern. NBS may be used to delay the urgent decarbonization effort, but it can't be the solution, but it can mitigate. That's all. Policy issues. NBS remains poorly integrated into sectoral policies, lack of globally standard safeguards, environmental harmful subsidies, slow the reforms. So, yes, environmental harmful subsidies already we saw. Capacity constraint, limited ecosystem data, weak monitoring, and inadequate technical expertise. What are the steps taken by the global level and national level? UN Decade Ecosystem Restoration 2021 to 30. Restore 1 billion hectares of globally. ENACT initiative, partnership supported by India to accelerate NBS in National Climate Plan. TNFD framework, Task Force on Nature Related Financial Disclosure for Corporate Transparency. Conming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework targets protecting 30% of land sea by 2030. Yes, we know this already. Nature Transition X Curve. UNEP 2026 roadmap to phase out the harmful subsidies. So these are all the steps taken globally as a nature-based solution. Then at national level, we already saw MISHTI scheme. So mangrove afforestation on the coastal areas to protect the livelihood from the cyclones. Ek Ped Ma Ke Naam. So campaign that planted 262.4 crore saplings for carbon sinks. Digital Campa reforms. Digital APO portal for real-time afforestation monitoring. Amrita Dharohar. Conservation of Ramsar sites through the community-led tourism. See, in this itself, we can expect a separate question with respect to Amrit Dharohar. National Mission on Green India. Integrating NBS into National Action Plan of Climate Change. Rajasthan Aravalli Green Wall Initiative. 1,400 km ecological buffer against desertification. Kerala Room of River. Flood adaptation through restoration of natural drainage. Odisha's community mangrove governance. So empowered Vana Suraksha Samitis for coastal resilience. So these are all the steps taken in national level. So Odisha's community, so for starting from Mishti, एक पेद माँ के नाम, digital Campa reform, Amrit Dharohar, National Mission for Green India, Rajasthan Aravalli Green Wall, Kerala Room for River, Odisha Community for Mangrove Government. What are the successful case studies? China's Sponge City, designed to absorb and reduce 70% of rainwater through permeable surface and garden. Room of river at Netherlands, lowering the floodplains and creating the buffer to manage river discharge naturally. Great Green Wall at Africa, restore 100 million hectares of degraded land across the Sahel. What are all the way forwards? Mainstream into infrastructure, integrate blue-green measures into PM Gati Shakti framework, unlock green finance, mandatory nature disclosure, community-led governance, ecological education, establish biodiversity baseline, global policy synergy. See, so to unlock the green finance, developing sovereign forest bond and private carbon credit market. To mandatory nature disclosure requires the companies to report nature dependency under TNFD aligned rules. Community-led governance empower Gram Sabha and women-led communities to manage the restored wetland. Ecological education update the planning circular including landscape ecology, nature-based design. Established biodiversity baseline, conduct rigorous pre-feasibility assessment to evaluate the interventions. Global policy system align the NBS targets with coming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. See, we can expect a question with respect to nature-based solution. I made an exhaustive kind of discussion so that you can answer at any part. If they ask importance, okay. If they ask significance, okay. You can ask if they ask core principles, okay. So like this, I had discussed a comprehensive manner. So keep following UPSC, keep supporting. Thank you. We can expect such a question in our mains 2026.